The hotel is 500 meters away from the sea. The hotel is 500 meters away from the sea. I'll be away for a week. I'll be away for a week. The bird swam away when I got near. The bird swam away when I got near. He was crying away in his room. He was crying away in his room. We'll go away for the weekend. We'll go away for the weekend. I heard a car drive away. I heard a car drive away. He laughed away his worries. He laughed away his worries. The snowman melted away. The snowman melted away. The noise of the car died away. The noise of the car died away. This flower will soon fade away. This flower will soon fade away. The water in the kettle is boiling away. The water in the kettle is boiling away. He is working away in the fields. He is working away in the fields. The station is 2 kilometers off. The station is 2 kilometers off. He finished off the work. He finished off the work. What time does the game kick off? What time does the game kick off? He switched off the TV. He switched off the TV. The jockeys fell off the horse. The jockeys fell off the horse. He's always showing off his watch. He's always showing off his watch. The concert was called off. The concert was called off. The president laid off 50 employees. The president laid off 50 employees. She cleared off the table. She cleared off the table. I have to pay off all my debts in a year. I have to pay off all my debts in a year. Let's start off with a beer. Let's start off with a beer. The train moved off with a jerk. The train moved off with a jerk. The rocket flew up into the sky. The rocket flew up into the sky. The boy grew up to be a doctor. The boy grew up to be a doctor. The car is speeding up. The car is speeding up. Time's up. Time's up. Can you dig up this plant? Can you dig up this plant? Gather up your toys. Gather up your toys. He didn't show up at the party. He didn't show up at the party. Can you count up to 20 in English? Can you count up to 20 in English? Wake me up at 6 tomorrow morning. Wake me up at 6 tomorrow morning. Speak up. I can't hear you. Speak up. I can't hear you. Add up these figures quickly. Add up these figures quickly. Don't hang up on me. Don't hang up on me. He studied hard to catch up with his classmates. He studied hard to catch up with his classmates. Hurry up. Hurry up. I want to brush up on my English. I want to brush up on my English. He used up all the money in one day. He used up all the money in one day. Eat up your fish. Eat up your fish. Drink up your orange juice. Drink up your orange juice. The plane burned up in the crash. The plane burned up in the crash. Fill it up, please. Fill it up, please. The farmer ended up as president. The farmer ended up as president. Help me clear up the room. Help me clear up the room. The sky cleared up after the storm. The sky cleared up after the storm. Please line up in 2 rows. Please line up in 2 rows. Don't forget to lock up the house. Don't forget to lock up the house.
Shut up. Shut up.
Will you blow up the tire on my bike? Will you blow up the tire on my bike? The dynamite blew up the big rock. The dynamite blew up the big rock. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. The train slowed down. The train slowed down. This scrap metal will be melted down and used again. This scrap metal will be melted down and used again. He settled down on the sofa. He settled down on the sofa. The building suddenly fell down. The building suddenly fell down. Write down your name and address. Write down your name and address. I want to lie down on the sofa. I want to lie down on the sofa. The soldiers lay down their weapons. The soldiers lay down their weapons. I hope things will calm down. I hope things will calm down. My house was burned down. My house was burned down. They decided to shut down the branch. They decided to shut down the branch. The wind died down. The wind died down. He flew over to the United States. He flew over to the United States. Our relationship is over. Our relationship is over. Can I start over from the beginning? Can I start over from the beginning? Let's discuss this matter over lunch. Let's discuss this matter over lunch. I stopped over at Hong Kong. I stopped over at Hong Kong. Let's cross over that bridge. Let's cross over that bridge. He leaned over and picked up a wallet. He leaned over and picked up a wallet. The soup is boiling over. The soup is boiling over. The car rolled over in the street. The car rolled over in the street. Let's talk it over later. Let's talk it over later. I think you should think it over. I think you should think it over. Don't cry over spilt milk. Don't cry over spilt milk. Let's go out for a drink. Let's go out for a drink. Look, stars are out. Look, stars are out. The electricity is out again. The electricity is out again. Hear me out. Hear me out. How about eating out tonight? How about eating out tonight? He pointed out some mistakes in my English. He pointed out some mistakes in my English. I found out he was lying. I found out he was lying. I asked her out for a date. I asked her out for a date. He usually stretches out on the sofa after dinner. He usually stretches out on the sofa after dinner. We must reach out to homeless people. We must reach out to homeless people. I have to hang out the laundry. I have to hang out the laundry. He laid out a large map on the desk. He laid out a large map on the desk. He laid out a fortune on the wedding. He laid out a fortune on the wedding. You can count me out this time. You can count me out this time. He spoke out against the decision. He spoke out against the decision. Don't stick your head out of the window. Don't stick your head out of the window. That bird species died out a century ago. That bird species died out a century ago. Cross out the wrong words. Cross out the wrong words. Those shoes wear out easily. Those shoes wear out easily. Could you fill out this form? Could you fill out this form? The train arrived in Itiwan. The train arrived in Itiwan. Itiwan lies in the middle of Seoul. Itiwan lies in the middle of Seoul. I'm in the construction business. I'm in the construction business. My boss will be in at noon. My boss will be in at noon. He took part in the speech contest. He took part in the speech contest. I'd like to check in this baggage. I'd like to check in this baggage. He was involved in an accident. He was involved in an accident. Count me in. Count me in. Fill in your name and address here. Fill in your name and address here. I usually stay in on Saturday nights. I usually stay in on Saturday nights. She is dressed in white today. She is dressed in white today. Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? Our train arrived at Grand Central Station. Our train arrived at Grand Central Station. The president arrived at San Francisco. The president arrived at San Francisco. He threw a ball at me. He threw a ball at me. My husband is still at work. My husband is still at work. She's smiling at me. She's smiling at me. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. He glanced at his watch. He glanced at his watch. Why are you staring at me? Why are you staring at me? She gazed at the diamond ring. She gazed at the diamond ring. Don't get angry at me. Don't get angry at me. You don't have to shout at me. You don't have to shout at me. He was surprised at the news. He was surprised at the news. The dog is sniffing at my bag. The dog is sniffing at my bag. Don't point your finger at me. Don't point your finger at me. He aimed a gun at the target. He aimed a gun at the target. The hunter shot at a bird. The hunter shot at a bird. Can you make a guess at my age? Can you make a guess at my age? He caught at the ball. He caught at the ball. What are you driving at? What are you driving at? I want to stand on my own feet. I want to stand on my own feet. Success depends on your effort. Success depends on your effort. Concentrate on your work. Concentrate on your work. It is raining on and on. It is raining on and on. Can I try it on? Can I try it on? You can rely on me. You can rely on me. Cows feed on grass. Cows feed on grass. He lives on a small income. He lives on a small income. It is based on a true story. It is based on a true story. Hang on to the rope. Hang on to the rope. It's raining off and on. It's raining off and on. The city lies to the north of the United States. The city lies to the north of the United States. He goes to work by car. He goes to work by car. He grew up to be a doctor. He grew up to be a doctor. The giants defeated the dragons 10-1. The giants defeated the dragons 10-1. Listen to me. Listen to me. All roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. His debts amounted to $1 million. His debts amounted to $1 million. I agree to your proposal. I agree to your proposal. I belong to the tennis club. I belong to the tennis club. Stick to your decision. Stick to your decision. They objected to the construction of a new airport. They objected to the construction of a new airport. I prefer baseball to soccer. I prefer baseball to soccer. I bought a present for him. I bought a present for him. This is for you. This is for you. I bought this watch for $1,000. I bought this watch for $1,000. Thank you for the present. Thank you for the present. This country is heading for a recession. This country is heading for a recession. This train is bound for Seattle. This train is bound for Seattle. I voted for that law. I voted for that law. I'm dying for a beer. I'm dying for a beer. That company is searching for a new CEO. That company is searching for a new CEO. The baby is crying for milk. The baby is crying for milk. I asked for her advice. I asked for her advice. We hoped for a successful result. We hoped for a successful result. We wish for world peace. We wish for world peace. They longed for his safe return. They longed for his safe return. I waited for him to come. I waited for him to come. Many people applied for the job. Many people applied for the job. He spilled his drink while reaching for the salt. He spilled his drink while reaching for the salt. Could you exchange these pants for bigger ones? Could you exchange these pants for bigger ones? You can substitute margarine for butter. You can substitute margarine for butter. How much did you pay for the car? How much did you pay for the car? He took the knife from the robber. He took the knife from the robber. She makes jam from apricots. She makes jam from apricots. The cat shivers from cold. The cat shivers from cold. The accident kept me from coming in time. The accident kept me from coming in time. The twins are so alike I can't tell one from the other. The twins are so alike I can't tell one from the other. My car differs from yours in color. My car differs from yours in color. Many children die from starvation. Many children die from starvation. He's suffering from depression. He's suffering from depression. The accident resulted from the driver's carelessness. The accident resulted from the driver's carelessness. Please refrain from smoking. Please refrain from smoking. The typhoon prevented the train from arriving on time. The typhoon prevented the train from arriving on time. The law prohibits minors from drinking. The law prohibits minors from drinking. This beer is free of charge. This beer is free of charge. They came to the same conclusion independent of each other. They came to the same conclusion independent of each other. This desk is made of wood. This desk is made of wood. I always think of you. I always think of you. The thief robbed me of my bag. The thief robbed me of my bag. They cleared the roads of snow. They cleared the roads of snow. The doctor cured me of the disease. The doctor cured me of the disease. You should dispose of these books. You should dispose of these books. The United States of America consists of 50 states. The United States of America consists of 50 states. Speak of the devil, and he'll soon appear. Speak of the devil, and he'll soon appear. I heard nothing of him after that. I heard nothing of him after that. He's always complaining of something. He's always complaining of something. Do you want some sugar with your coffee? Do you want some sugar with your coffee? The robber threatened the clerk with a gun. The robber threatened the clerk with a gun. I agree with you. I agree with you. He's always quarreling with his wife. He's always quarreling with his wife. The glass is filled with wine. The glass is filled with wine. The mountain is covered with snow. The mountain is covered with snow. The bus is crowded with passengers. The bus is crowded with passengers. They were equipped with weapons. They were equipped with weapons. The room is furnished with a bed and a sofa. The room is furnished with a bed and a sofa. He was presented with an award. He was presented with an award. He's a difficult person to deal with. He's a difficult person to deal with. Cows provide us with milk. Cows provide us with milk. He planted the garden with tulips. He planted the garden with tulips. They replaced coal with oil. They replaced coal with oil. Oil does not mix with water. Oil does not mix with water. I correspond with a friend in India. I correspond with a friend in India. The company is faced with a difficult situation. The company is faced with a difficult situation. I compared my answer with his. I compared my answer with his. The United States competed for a gold medal with Russia. The United States competed for a gold medal with Russia. The police officer struggled with a robber. The police officer struggled with a robber. The orchestra was conducted by Ozawa Seiji. The orchestra was conducted by Ozawa Seiji. How do you go to work?
I go to work by train.
How do you go to work?
I go to work by train.
I seldom watch TV aside from news. I seldom watch TV aside from news. Will you move that box aside? Will you move that box aside? I saw children running by. I saw children running by. Come by on your way home. Come by on your way home. Can I stop by at that convenience store? Can I stop by at that convenience store? I'll set this money aside for the future. I'll set this money aside for the future. He stepped aside for me to pass. He stepped aside for me to pass. He laid aside his glasses. He laid aside his glasses. You should lay aside this money for the future. You should lay aside this money for the future. He elbowed people aside. He elbowed people aside. The car crashed into the wall. The car crashed into the wall. I'm into jazz. I'm into jazz. I don't have time to go into detail. I don't have time to go into detail. The plate broke into pieces. The plate broke into pieces. I bumped into my ex-girlfriend yesterday. I bumped into my ex-girlfriend yesterday. I'll change into a suit. I'll change into a suit. The ice melted into water. The ice melted into water. Mother divided the cake into 5. Mother divided the cake into 5. Can you translate this sentence into Chinese? Can you translate this sentence into Chinese? The class burst into laughter at the teacher's joke. The class burst into laughter at the teacher's joke. His business grew into a big company. His business grew into a big company. I talked him into giving up smoking. I talked him into giving up smoking. He paints pictures after Monet. He paints pictures after Monet. They continued the work day after day. They continued the work day after day. Add milk along with butter to the soup. Add milk along with butter to the soup. His house is across the street from the library. His house is across the street from the library. The police officer chased after the pickpocket. The police officer chased after the pickpocket. He continued to seek after the truth. He continued to seek after the truth. My father named me after a famous actor. My father named me after a famous actor. Go along this street. Go along this street. You'll make it up as you go along. You'll make it up as you go along. I can't go along with your proposal. I can't go along with your proposal. I'll come along too. I'll come along too. I ran across him at the airport. I ran across him at the airport. Take your hands out of your pockets. Take your hands out of your pockets. We are out of danger. We are out of danger. This train goes through to Rome. This train goes through to Rome. This shop is open Monday through Saturday. This shop is open Monday through Saturday. He cheated me out of my money. He cheated me out of my money. I talked him out of marrying her. I talked him out of marrying her. The ship went out of sight. The ship went out of sight. Stay out of my business. Stay out of my business. Have you read the report through? Have you read the report through? I couldn't see through his lies. I couldn't see through his lies. I want to see this job through. I want to see this job through. The Thames flows through London. The Thames flows through London. He writes many books about cats. He writes many books about cats. That rock is about to fall. That rock is about to fall. I want to travel around the world. I want to travel around the world. Turn around the corner. Turn around the corner. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? He spoke about Japan's economy. He spoke about Japan's economy. That cat comes around when it's hungry. That cat comes around when it's hungry. I went around to his office. I went around to his office. I hung around the bookshop. I hung around the bookshop. I'll shop around this afternoon. I'll shop around this afternoon. The kids are running around in the park. The kids are running around in the park. He looked back at me. He looked back at me. Don't look back, just keep moving forward. Don't look back, just keep moving forward. I look forward to the next game. I look forward to the next game. The Giants are ahead in the third inning. The Giants are ahead in the third inning. I'll call you back later. I'll call you back later.
Please step back. Please step back.
He stepped forward to receive the prize. He stepped forward to receive the prize. Don't put yourself forward. Don't put yourself forward. I put my watch forward 5 seconds. I put my watch forward 5 seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can I use the restroom?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I use the restroom?
Yes, go ahead.
The festival will go ahead as planned. The festival will go ahead as planned. I work together with Alice. I work together with Alice. Let's sing a song together. Let's sing a song together. I live apart from my parents. I live apart from my parents. My brother and I are 5 years apart. My brother and I are 5 years apart. Let's get together tonight. Let's get together tonight. We lived together before we got married. We lived together before we got married. This tie and this suit go together. This tie and this suit go together. Those two countries came together on this issue. Those two countries came together on this issue. The country is going to fall apart. The country is going to fall apart. He can take the radio apart. He can take the radio apart. He took apart his opponent. He took apart his opponent. Can you tell those twin sisters apart? Can you tell those twin sisters apart?
Dinner's ready.
I'm coming.
Dinner's ready.
I'm coming.
Here comes our bus. Here comes our bus. At last my dream came true. At last my dream came true. The patient's temperature came down to normal. The patient's temperature came down to normal. Where do these potatoes come from? Where do these potatoes come from? My son came in second in the marathon. My son came in second in the marathon. It was the first idea that came into my mind. It was the first idea that came into my mind. I'd like you to come over when you are free. I'd like you to come over when you are free. How did such a situation come about? How did such a situation come about? I came across Jane by chance this morning. I came across Jane by chance this morning. Can I come along with you? Can I come along with you? A button has come off my coat. A button has come off my coat.
Come on, we'll be late. Come on, we'll be late.
His new book is coming out soon. His new book is coming out soon. I came up with a good idea. I came up with a good idea. Coming through, please. Coming through, please. How did you come by this antique watch? How did you come by this antique watch? I want to come up in the world. I want to come up in the world. A cute cat came up to me. A cute cat came up to me. Will you come down here? Will you come down here? Where has the cheese gone? Where has the cheese gone? I must be going now. I must be going now. He went bald at 30. He went bald at 30. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. The police are going after the car. The police are going after the car. We have enough cake to go around. We have enough cake to go around.
Pain, pain, go away. Pain, pain, go away.
Going down? Going down? The ship went down into the sea. The ship went down into the sea. The earthquake made the building go down. The earthquake made the building go down. Prices are going up. Prices are going up. A stranger went up to him. A stranger went up to him. A dump truck went by. A dump truck went by. How about going out to lunch? How about going out to lunch? I've been going out with Nancy for a month. I've been going out with Nancy for a month. White wine goes with fish. White wine goes with fish. He went off with all my money. He went off with all my money. The alarm went off. The alarm went off. The lights went off. The lights went off. He went over to the United States. He went over to the United States. I have to go over my notes before the exam. I have to go over my notes before the exam. The boy went on riding his bike. The boy went on riding his bike. Time went on quickly. Time went on quickly. The bill went through with a big majority. The bill went through with a big majority. He went through a lot of difficulties. He went through a lot of difficulties. The truck went into the wall. The truck went into the wall. The police began to go into the details of the murder. The police began to go into the details of the murder. Go for it. Go for it. Turn right at the first corner. Turn right at the first corner. The earth turns around its axis. The earth turns around its axis. The leaves of the tree are turning red. The leaves of the tree are turning red. He turned 60 yesterday. He turned 60 yesterday. He turned around and looked at me. He turned around and looked at me. The president has turned the economy around. The president has turned the economy around. Turn to the left at the second corner. Turn to the left at the second corner. Turn to your notes. Turn to your notes. Turn to page 23. Turn to page 23. He turned away at the sight of the snake. He turned away at the sight of the snake. There is no turning back. There is no turning back. Turn over the card and place it on the table. Turn over the card and place it on the table. The hostage was turned over to his government. The hostage was turned over to his government. Caterpillars turn into butterflies. Caterpillars turn into butterflies. The committee turned down my proposal. The committee turned down my proposal. Shall I turn down the volume? Shall I turn down the volume? The truck turned off the main road. The truck turned off the main road. Turn off the light when leaving the room. Turn off the light when leaving the room. He turned on the radio. He turned on the radio. The economy is turning up. The economy is turning up. Can you turn up the hem on these pants? Can you turn up the hem on these pants? Will you turn up the volume? Will you turn up the volume? She didn't turn up at the party after all. She didn't turn up at the party after all. The party turned out to be a big success. The party turned out to be a big success. That factory turns out 300 cars a day. That factory turns out 300 cars a day. Turn it inside out. Turn it inside out. Turn it upside down. Turn it upside down. I have to turn in my assignment tomorrow. I have to turn in my assignment tomorrow. Who got the gold medal? Who got the gold medal? I got a Christmas present from my mother. I got a Christmas present from my mother. I got a cold from Tom. I got a cold from Tom. I got home at midnight. I got home at midnight. How can I get across the river? How can I get across the river? He knows how to get around the law. He knows how to get around the law. Can you get me up at 5? Can you get me up at 5? How can I get to the airport? How can I get to the airport? I can't get over my cold. I can't get over my cold. I need to get through this work by tomorrow. I need to get through this work by tomorrow.
Get out. Get out.
I got out of the taxi. I got out of the taxi. I'll get off at the next stop. I'll get off at the next stop. I got on the bus in front of the station. I got on the bus in front of the station. His aim is to get on in the world. His aim is to get on in the world. How are you getting along with your wife? How are you getting along with your wife? Can you get at that book on the shelf? Can you get at that book on the shelf? The thief got away from the police. The thief got away from the police. You only have to work hard to get ahead. You only have to work hard to get ahead. Get down. Get down. Let's get down to work. Let's get down to work. The thief got in through the bathroom window. The thief got in through the bathroom window. What time does the train get in? What time does the train get in? Let's get into the taxi. Let's get into the taxi. Get into your pajamas. Get into your pajamas. His son got into Harvard University. His son got into Harvard University. We might get into trouble. We might get into trouble. I'm getting into jazz. I'm getting into jazz. I'll bring it to you right now. I'll bring it to you right now. Just bring yourself to the party. Just bring yourself to the party. I'll take you to dinner. I'll take you to dinner. You must always carry your passport. You must always carry your passport. He was brought up in Paris. He was brought up in Paris. His reckless driving brought about the accident. His reckless driving brought about the accident. Please bring back the book by Monday. Please bring back the book by Monday. This photo brings back lots of good memories. This photo brings back lots of good memories. The company decided to bring down the prices of its computers. The company decided to bring down the prices of its computers. The crisis brought down the government. The crisis brought down the government. The spices bring out the flavor of the meat. The spices bring out the flavor of the meat. The publisher brought out 5 of his books in 1 year. The publisher brought out 5 of his books in 1 year. The thief carried away the jewels. The thief carried away the jewels. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. This song always carried me back to my childhood. This song always carried me back to my childhood. They carried off the win in the last minute of the game. They carried off the win in the last minute of the game. The police carried on with the investigation. The police carried on with the investigation. He carried out the plan. He carried out the plan. Let's carry over this discussion after lunch. Let's carry over this discussion after lunch. He didn't carry through with his promise. He didn't carry through with his promise. Where should I put this?
Please put it on the desk.
Where should I put this?
Please put it on the desk.
Don't forget to put a stamp on it. Don't forget to put a stamp on it. Will you set the plates on the table? Will you set the plates on the table? The sun set beyond the horizon. The sun set beyond the horizon. You should put the money aside for a rainy day. You should put the money aside for a rainy day. Put your work aside for a minute and listen to me. Put your work aside for a minute and listen to me. Put your toys away. Put your toys away. Put it back where it was. Put it back where it was. The performance date has been put back to next Sunday. The performance date has been put back to next Sunday. He put in a bookmark at page 10. He put in a bookmark at page 10. I disagree, she put in. I disagree, she put in. Put the sentence into English. Put the sentence into English. He put a lot of money into the project. He put a lot of money into the project. I like putting model planes together. I like putting model planes together. Put it down. Put it down. Would you put your name down for a table and wait? Would you put your name down for a table and wait? The riot was put down by the police. The riot was put down by the police. He put down a deposit of $1,000. He put down a deposit of $1,000. Put your coat on when you go out. Put your coat on when you go out. I've put on weight recently. I've put on weight recently. Should I put the pasta on already? Should I put the pasta on already? Put your hand up when you have a question. Put your hand up when you have a question. My friends put me up for the night. My friends put me up for the night. He was put up for a promotion. He was put up for a promotion. I had to put up with his arrogance. I had to put up with his arrogance. Please put me through to the president. Please put me through to the president. He put the cigarette out. He put the cigarette out. I put off going to the dentist until next Monday. I put off going to the dentist until next Monday. They set off on a trip to Europe. They set off on a trip to Europe. We enjoyed setting off fireworks on the beach. We enjoyed setting off fireworks on the beach. The rainy season has set in. The rainy season has set in. She set out to build a law practice. She set out to build a law practice. He sent out for Paris. He sent out for Paris. It's time to set about our work. It's time to set about our work. The police set up a roadblock to New York. The police set up a roadblock to New York. He set up a new business. He set up a new business. Don't pull the dog by its tail. Don't pull the dog by its tail. Will you draw me a map to the station? Will you draw me a map to the station? People at the back, stop pushing. People at the back, stop pushing. Grapes are pressed to make wine. Grapes are pressed to make wine. Will you pull down the shade? Will you pull down the shade? The Berlin Wall was finally pulled down. The Berlin Wall was finally pulled down. The soldiers were told to pull back. The soldiers were told to pull back. The train pulled in on schedule. The train pulled in on schedule. He pulled in a lot of money by gambling. He pulled in a lot of money by gambling. Don't pull off your shoes. Don't pull off your shoes. He pulled off the win. He pulled off the win. Don't pull on my t-shirt. Don't pull on my t-shirt. I had a cavity pulled out. I had a cavity pulled out.
Watch out! There's a car pulling out. Watch out! There's a car pulling out.
Pull over. Pull over. Don't pull up the flowers. Don't pull up the flowers. Pull up a chair and sit next to me. Pull up a chair and sit next to me. He pulled up his car in front of the hotel. He pulled up his car in front of the hotel. He will definitely pull through. He will definitely pull through. They pulled together for their mutual interest. They pulled together for their mutual interest. I drew out cash from the ATM. I drew out cash from the ATM. They drew up the contract. They drew up the contract. Draw up a chair. Draw up a chair. He drew back at the sight of a snake. He drew back at the sight of a snake. He's always pushing his men around. He's always pushing his men around. It's time to push off. It's time to push off. He pushed over the table and the chairs. He pushed over the table and the chairs. The president pushed the bill through. The president pushed the bill through. He pushed aside his anger. He pushed aside his anger. They pushed forward with the project. They pushed forward with the project. Inflation pushed up prices 20%. Inflation pushed up prices 20%. Many employees were pushed out of their jobs. Many employees were pushed out of their jobs. Let's press on with our work. Let's press on with our work. They pressed for a change in the law. They pressed for a change in the law. Don't press your views on me. Don't press your views on me. The crowd of fans pressed into the small concert hall. The crowd of fans pressed into the small concert hall. He kept the door open. He kept the door open. Can you keep my bag for a moment? Can you keep my bag for a moment? He held the door open. He held the door open. He left the door open. He left the door open.
Keep back, there's a truck coming. Keep back, there's a truck coming.
He tried to keep back his tears. He tried to keep back his tears. They built barriers to keep back the floodwater. They built barriers to keep back the floodwater.
Keep down, they are shooting at you. Keep down, they are shooting at you.
Please keep your voice down. Please keep your voice down. Keep off the grass. Keep off the grass. Keep out. Keep out. The economic boom kept up for a year. The economic boom kept up for a year. We walked fast to keep up with him. We walked fast to keep up with him. He kept on complaining. He kept on complaining. He was kept in prison for a month. He was kept in prison for a month. The accident kept me from coming on time. The accident kept me from coming on time. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Keep away from the cliff. Keep away from the cliff. Keep to the left. Keep to the left. I'll keep the promise to myself. I'll keep the promise to myself. Hold up your hands. Hold up your hands. 2 armed men held up the bank. 2 armed men held up the bank. I couldn't hold back my tears. I couldn't hold back my tears. The shop owner held down the robber. The shop owner held down the robber. The government tried to hold down inflation. The government tried to hold down inflation. He held off making a decision. He held off making a decision. Can you hold on a moment? Can you hold on a moment? Hold on to the strap. Hold on to the strap. Hold out your palms. Hold out your palms. Water supplies won't hold out much longer. Water supplies won't hold out much longer. He can't hold in his emotions. He can't hold in his emotions. Let's hold over deciding until next week. Let's hold over deciding until next week. You can leave out this word. You can leave out this word. Let's leave off this discussion for now. Let's leave off this discussion for now. We have lots of food left over. We have lots of food left over. I'm leaving for Paris tomorrow. I'm leaving for Paris tomorrow. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. You took me by the arm. You took me by the arm. I'll give you a reward. I'll give you a reward. I'll give a reward to you. I'll give a reward to you. I took you for a conservative. I took you for a conservative. You take after your mother. You take after your mother. The medicine took my pain away. The medicine took my pain away. Can I take this away? Can I take this away? I'll take this book back to the library. I'll take this book back to the library. I take back what I said. I take back what I said. I must take down all the posters. I must take down all the posters. He took down everything I said. He took down everything I said. Let's go out and take in some fresh air. Let's go out and take in some fresh air. I can't take in the news that she suddenly got married. I can't take in the news that she suddenly got married. This house takes in overseas travelers. This house takes in overseas travelers. It seems I was taken in by that salesperson. It seems I was taken in by that salesperson. Can you take in the waist on this skirt? Can you take in the waist on this skirt? The plane took off on schedule. The plane took off on schedule. Please take your shoes off. Please take your shoes off. I want to take a day off. I want to take a day off. Can you take off 10%? Can you take off 10%? That company takes on many trainees. That company takes on many trainees. He is afraid to take on heavy responsibilities. He is afraid to take on heavy responsibilities. He took me out to lunch. He took me out to lunch. He took a pen out of his pocket. He took a pen out of his pocket. Who will take over the business? Who will take over the business? We all took to her immediately. We all took to her immediately. We'll take up this topic tomorrow. We'll take up this topic tomorrow. I took up the guitar when I was 10. I took up the guitar when I was 10. The plants take up too much space. The plants take up too much space. Can you take up the hem? Can you take up the hem? He likes taking apart watches. He likes taking apart watches. Give it back to her. Give it back to her. Don't give up too easily. Don't give up too easily. I shouldn't have given all my toys away. I shouldn't have given all my toys away. He gave away state secrets to North Korea. He gave away state secrets to North Korea. He gave in the reports on time. He gave in the reports on time. She finally gave in to the temptation. She finally gave in to the temptation. This flower gives off a sweet smell. This flower gives off a sweet smell. Our food supplies gave out. Our food supplies gave out. Can you give out these handouts to the students? Can you give out these handouts to the students? That speaker gives out a buzz. That speaker gives out a buzz. I gave over the thief to the police. I gave over the thief to the police. Give yourself over to your work. Give yourself over to your work. Look at that barking dog. Look at that barking dog. I looked but saw nothing. I looked but saw nothing. How about going to see a movie in Manhattan? How about going to see a movie in Manhattan? Watch her bag for a moment. Watch her bag for a moment. Are you looking for anything? Are you looking for anything? He looked out of the window. He looked out of the window. I have no time to look through the newspaper. I have no time to look through the newspaper. She looked away from him. She looked away from him. He left without looking back. He left without looking back. I often look back on my school days. I often look back on my school days. Can you look after my cat? Can you look after my cat? He tried not to look down. He tried not to look down. I looked down on him. I looked down on him. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. The committee looked into the matter. The committee looked into the matter. I'll look over your report later. I'll look over your report later. I looked to him for help. I looked to him for help. Look up at the sky. Look up at the sky. Life is looking up. Life is looking up. Look up this word in a dictionary. Look up this word in a dictionary. Every student looks up to Mr. Matt. Every student looks up to Mr. Matt. They stood looking on in silence. They stood looking on in silence. I'm just looking around. I'm just looking around. Look out! There's a car coming. Look out! There's a car coming. Look out for cars when you cross the road. Look out for cars when you cross the road. Don't look me up and down. Don't look me up and down. They saw me off at the airport. They saw me off at the airport. Who will see to the baby while you are away? Who will see to the baby while you are away? I can't stand this cold weather. I can't stand this cold weather. I stood my umbrella against the wall. I stood my umbrella against the wall. I stayed at the Hotel Sheraton. I stayed at the Hotel Sheraton. Some birds are sitting on the electric wire. Some birds are sitting on the electric wire. Would you stand back from the door? Would you stand back from the door? Please stand aside and let us past. Please stand aside and let us past. I'll stand by you whatever happens. I'll stand by you whatever happens. What does TOEFL stand for? What does TOEFL stand for? The red flags stand out brightly against the blue sky. The red flags stand out brightly against the blue sky. You should stand up for your rights. You should stand up for your rights. He decided to stand up to the bully. He decided to stand up to the bully. The judge ordered him to stand down. The judge ordered him to stand down. He stood down from the scandal. He stood down from the scandal. I'll have to stand over him. I'll have to stand over him. I'm sorry I stood you up last night. I'm sorry I stood you up last night. He's always standing around and talking. He's always standing around and talking. I'm going to stay on after school today. I'm going to stay on after school today. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Don't stay out late in the evening. Don't stay out late in the evening. They stayed up in the evening. They stayed up in the evening. I hate just sitting around. I hate just sitting around. Let's sit down and talk about our future. Let's sit down and talk about our future. Sit up straight. Sit up straight. I'll get back late, so don't sit up for me. I'll get back late, so don't sit up for me. I want to sit back and enjoy the holiday. I want to sit back and enjoy the holiday. She is sitting for her portrait. She is sitting for her portrait. Can I sit in on the lecture? Can I sit in on the lecture? I don't want to sit by and wait for him to come back. I don't want to sit by and wait for him to come back. Don't drop litter in this street. Don't drop litter in this street. Prices are dropping these days. Prices are dropping these days. The leaves are falling from the trees. The leaves are falling from the trees. He slipped and fell down. He slipped and fell down. I dropped off on the train and missed my stop. I dropped off on the train and missed my stop. Could you drop me off at the next corner? Could you drop me off at the next corner? He dropped out of college. He dropped out of college. Can I drop by your office this afternoon? Can I drop by your office this afternoon? Drop in on me anytime. Drop in on me anytime. His friends dropped away over the years because of his bad attitude. His friends dropped away over the years because of his bad attitude. Drop over to my place anytime. Drop over to my place anytime. The soldiers had to fall back. The soldiers had to fall back. He had no relatives to fall back on. He had no relatives to fall back on. He easily fell into a trap. He easily fell into a trap. He fell into the habit of drinking. He fell into the habit of drinking. My birthday falls on a Sunday this year. My birthday falls on a Sunday this year. The medication made his hair fall out. The medication made his hair fall out. He fell over a stone. He fell over a stone. I won't fall for such a stupid trick. I won't fall for such a stupid trick. His plan fell through after all. His plan fell through after all. I'll make you a sandwich. I'll make you a sandwich. The news made us happy. The news made us happy. The teacher made his students stand up. The teacher made his students stand up. Let me take one more picture. Let me take one more picture. This chair is made out of scrap wood. This chair is made out of scrap wood. Wine is made from grapes. Wine is made from grapes. Milk is made into cheese. Milk is made into cheese. The thief made away with the jewelry. The thief made away with the jewelry. Please make out a bill for these goods. Please make out a bill for these goods. I can't make out what he said. I can't make out what he said.
Oh, I forgot to make up my face. Oh, I forgot to make up my face.
Did you make up this story? Did you make up this story? There are 50 states that make up the United States. There are 50 states that make up the United States. Did you make up with her? Did you make up with her? I have to make up for lost time. I have to make up for lost time. I had the tailor make over my pants. I had the tailor make over my pants. The climber let down the rope to the others below. The climber let down the rope to the others below. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. He opened the window to let in fresh air. He opened the window to let in fresh air. He let the bird out of the cage. He let the bird out of the cage. Don't let out the secret. Don't let out the secret. He let out a cry of despair. He let out a cry of despair. The rain didn't let up yesterday. The rain didn't let up yesterday. The bus stopped to let off the passengers. The bus stopped to let off the passengers. Someone is letting off fireworks near my house. Someone is letting off fireworks near my house. We were let through to the backstage with our special passes. We were let through to the backstage with our special passes. Don't let on that I told you. Don't let on that I told you. Let him into the room. Let him into the room. The buses run every 15 minutes. The buses run every 15 minutes. He runs a shoe factory. He runs a shoe factory. This machine works by electricity. This machine works by electricity. I was moved to tears by the movie. I was moved to tears by the movie. The cat is running after a mouse. The cat is running after a mouse. He ran away when he saw a police officer. He ran away when he saw a police officer. The Reds ran away with the championship. The Reds ran away with the championship. Don't run down the stairs. Don't run down the stairs. Tears started running down his cheeks. Tears started running down his cheeks. The dog was run down by a car. The dog was run down by a car. The battery has run down. The battery has run down. I ran into an old friend for the first time in 10 years. I ran into an old friend for the first time in 10 years. Let me run off a few more copies. Let me run off a few more copies. You need to run off some of your excess energy. You need to run off some of your excess energy. His wife has run off with another man. His wife has run off with another man. I must run off now. It looks like rain. I must run off now. It looks like rain. My cell phone's battery is running out. My cell phone's battery is running out. We are running out of water. We are running out of water. The bath water is running over. The bath water is running over. The box was run over by a truck. The box was run over by a truck. I have to run over my lines tonight. I have to run over my lines tonight. Can you run over to the convenience store? Can you run over to the convenience store? A big dog ran up to me. A big dog ran up to me. His debt ran up to $2 million. His debt ran up to $2 million. He decided to work off his extra weight. He decided to work off his extra weight. Don't work yourself up over nothing. Don't work yourself up over nothing. She's working on a new project. She's working on a new project. This medicine didn't work on me. This medicine didn't work on me. I usually work out on the weekends. I usually work out on the weekends. How did you work out the problem? How did you work out the problem? Everything will work out all right. Everything will work out all right. He worked through his difficulties. He worked through his difficulties. Move along, please. Move along, please. The construction of the subway is moving along. The construction of the subway is moving along. When are you moving in? When are you moving in? When are you moving out? When are you moving out? Could you move out of the way? Could you move out of the way? He moved away when I was a child. He moved away when I was a child. Would you move over a little? Would you move over a little? Move down, please. Move down, please. Let's move on to the next subject. Let's move on to the next subject. This is your last chance to move up in the world. This is your last chance to move up in the world. The yen moved up against the dollar this week. The yen moved up against the dollar this week. We moved around a lot because of my father's job. We moved around a lot because of my father's job. The thief broke the window. The thief broke the window. Let's break for coffee. Let's break for coffee. I cut my finger with a knife. I cut my finger with a knife. I'd like to have my hair cut short. I'd like to have my hair cut short. He tried to break away from the police officer. He tried to break away from the police officer. He wanted to break away from the party. He wanted to break away from the party. They can't break away from old habits in their relationship. They can't break away from old habits in their relationship. The police broke down the door to get into the house. The police broke down the door to get into the house. My car broke down in the middle of the road. My car broke down in the middle of the road. It takes a long time to break down old prejudices. It takes a long time to break down old prejudices. My apartment was broken into last night. My apartment was broken into last night. The child broke into tears. The child broke into tears. The wings of the toy plane had broken off. The wings of the toy plane had broken off. The meeting broke off for lunch. The meeting broke off for lunch. He broke off in the middle of his sentence. He broke off in the middle of his sentence. A big fire broke out in my neighborhood last night. A big fire broke out in my neighborhood last night. I break out in a rash when I eat eggs. I break out in a rash when I eat eggs. The crowd broke through the barrier. The crowd broke through the barrier. The sun broke through the clouds. The sun broke through the clouds. The small boat broke up on the rocks. The small boat broke up on the rocks. The meeting broke up on schedule. The meeting broke up on schedule. When did you break up with her? When did you break up with her? Don't break in with such a stupid question. Don't break in with such a stupid question. The thief broke in through the kitchen window. The thief broke in through the kitchen window. He's cutting down a tree with a chainsaw. He's cutting down a tree with a chainsaw. He decided to cut down on coffee and cigarettes. He decided to cut down on coffee and cigarettes. Don't cut in on our conversation. Don't cut in on our conversation. He is cutting away the dead branches. He is cutting away the dead branches. Can you cut off a piece of cake for me? Can you cut off a piece of cake for me? The water supply has been cut off. The water supply has been cut off. I cut out my photo from the newspaper. I cut out my photo from the newspaper. They were cutting out a path through the forest. They were cutting out a path through the forest. She is cut out to be a teacher. She is cut out to be a teacher. Will you cut up these carrots? Will you cut up these carrots? We cut across the park. We cut across the park. We cut through the forest. We cut through the forest. Will you pass me the salt? Will you pass me the salt? I pass the time reading all day. I pass the time reading all day. A dump truck passed my car. A dump truck passed my car. He handed me the baby. He handed me the baby. My father passed away at age 58. My father passed away at age 58. I saw a parade passing by. I saw a parade passing by. I think you'd pass for 18. I think you'd pass for 18. Let's pass on to the next subject. Let's pass on to the next subject. He passed out from heatstroke. He passed out from heatstroke. We'd better pass over his remark. We'd better pass over his remark. You should pass through many difficulties while young. You should pass through many difficulties while young. Don't pass up a chance like this. Don't pass up a chance like this. Please pass around the cookies. Please pass around the cookies. I saw him handing out flyers on this street. I saw him handing out flyers on this street. This story has been handed down for generations. This story has been handed down for generations. I handed the dictionary back to him. I handed the dictionary back to him. The judge handed down a life sentence. The judge handed down a life sentence. I have to hand in my report by tomorrow. I have to hand in my report by tomorrow. The robber handed over his gun to the police officer. The robber handed over his gun to the police officer. He handed over the house to his daughter. He handed over the house to his daughter. I was thrown off the horse. I was thrown off the horse. She threw her arms around me. She threw her arms around me. The bird picked meat from the bone. The bird picked meat from the bone. Pick a number from 1 to 10. Pick a number from 1 to 10. He has a lot of money to throw around. He has a lot of money to throw around. Don't throw away trash on the street. Don't throw away trash on the street. Don't throw away this chance. Don't throw away this chance. I just can't throw off this cold. I just can't throw off this cold. I just can't throw off my drinking habit. I just can't throw off my drinking habit. He threw off his shirt. He threw off his shirt. The volcano was throwing off ash and smoke. The volcano was throwing off ash and smoke. He managed to throw off the paparazzi. He managed to throw off the paparazzi. The volcano was throwing up hot rocks. The volcano was throwing up hot rocks. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. He threw up his hands in despair. He threw up his hands in despair. He'll never throw in the towel. He'll never throw in the towel. I bought a table and they threw in a chair. I bought a table and they threw in a chair. I'll throw together a quick lunch. I'll throw together a quick lunch. She threw on her gown. She threw on her gown. He was thrown out of work. He was thrown out of work. Don't pick any apples off this tree. Don't pick any apples off this tree. You can pick out any fruit you like. You can pick out any fruit you like. He picked up a wallet from the floor. He picked up a wallet from the floor. Can you pick me up at 3 p.m.? Can you pick me up at 3 p.m.? He picked up French in a year. He picked up French in a year. He tried to pick up a girl at a party. He tried to pick up a girl at a party. The economy is picking up these days. The economy is picking up these days. Can you pick up some milk on your way home? Can you pick up some milk on your way home?